Hello and welcome to Band in a Box 2014. This exciting new release has over 50 cool new features, and we've also added 101 new RealTracks, 30 new MIDI SuperTracks, 2 new artist performance sets, and 12 new high-quality, high-Q sounds. The thing you'll notice right away is the most highly anticipated new feature, the great new user interface. In this video, we'll explore all the new features with this interface. We'll also check out some of our other very exciting new features, like the new RealTracks feature. This now allows you, the user, to make your own audio styles, very much like RealTracks. Just record yourself playing, whether it's guitar, bass, piano, or any instrument you can think of, and Band in a Box can then take what you've recorded and play it over any chord progression you can enter into Band in a Box, just like it does with RealTracks. First though, we'll check out some of the exciting new RealTracks. Right now we're listening to the New Orleans boogie RealTracks styles, with smoking piano and solid bass guitar and drums. And all of these RealTracks are included in RealTracks Set 190, New Orleans Boogie. The RealTracks sets that everyone is talking about are the Jazz Pole Winner sets, and for good reason. The musicians here are world-class legends, having made names for themselves over many years of performing and recording, and having been honored with various awards such as Downbeat Magazine's Readers and Critics polls. Right now we're listening to a rhythm section of bassist Ron Carter, master pianist Kenny Barron, and drum great Louis Nash. And they're backing up 3 great soloists. First of all, Phil Woods on alto sax. Phil Woods is one of the world's greatest jazz saxophonists. He's also very well known in the pop rock world for his famous solo in Billy Joel's Just the Way You Are. Gary Smulian is on baritone sax here and has been named Player of the Year several times in the critics and readers polls for Downbeat, Jazz Times, and Jazz Journalists Association. And on guitar, Pat Martino, a beloved musician who is also regarded as a living legend. This particular reel style uses all of these musicians, with the rhythm section playing throughout, and Phil Woods is soloing where C and D are designated in the chord chart, Pat Martino solos where E and F are designated in the chart, and Gary Smulian solos where G and H are designated in the chord chart. And all of the music you're hearing was created simply by typing in these chords, picking this style, setting the tempo, and setting the part markers to determine who solos, and then pressing play. Band in a Box does the rest. Everything you're hearing, including these great soloists by these master artists, were created based on these chords. And if I changed them, everything would be regenerated to match the new progression. For example, I'll stop here. I'll change the key, and here is a new feature when changing keys. This box now shows all the keys in one screen rather than the previous version where you needed to scroll through a list. And you can either change the song key without transposing it here, or change the key and transpose it here. And I'll change this to G minor, and I'll change a few of the chords at the beginning. B flat major 7 at bar 1, E flat major 7 at bar 2, D half diminished at bar 3, G7 at bar 4, C half diminished at bar 5, and B7 at bar 6. And when I press generate and play, everything, including Phil Woods' solo, is now playing the new changes in the new key. I mentioned the new graphical user interface, or GUI, earlier. I'll go over this in more detail later in the video, but for now I'll point out the improvements to the chord chart. The default font is now this cool jazz font, a big improvement on the standard Windows font that was used in previous versions. The part markers also now have a much more modern, slick look to them, and you'll notice that the color of the bar numbers in between are now also colored to indicate the different sections, using the same color as the part marker. As part of our bonus RealTracks sets, which will be available until December 31st, 2013, we're including with every new purchase or upgrade of Band in a Box this set of string quartet RealTracks. This is a real string quartet with real cello, viola, and 2 violins. You can use them as an ensemble, as you're hearing them here, or you can also access the individual strings. This is an incredibly versatile set, and here the strings are being used in a pop setting. And here they're used in a more stripped-down, organic setting with just a piano. We also have with this new release a new set of pop horns, done in a very similar manner to the string quartet. And here we have just the horns along with the string quartet for an almost symphonic effect. And let's check out some other great new RealTracks. We have country equivalents to the Jazz Poll winners with our Country Award Winners set. Here we're listening to 2 of the styles from this set, with Rob Ickes on resonator guitar and John Jarvis on piano. Rob Ickes is the most awarded instrumentalist in the history of the International Bluegrass Music Association Awards, having won Instrumental Performer of the Year award for his resonator guitar playing 13 times to date. And whether you know it or not, you've been hearing John Jarvis's piano on rock, pop, and country records for decades. As a teenager, he played on sessions with Ringo Starr, Diana Ross, John Mellencamp, The Miracles, and many others before joining Rod Stewart's band, contributing the piano tracks to such hits as Hot Legs, Tonight's the Night, and You're in My Heart. And here you can have both of these award-winning musicians backing you up on your own song. Let's check out another new aspect of the new GUI, the mixer. You now have all of the information regarding volume, pan, reverb, etc. in front of you all the time. Whereas in previous versions you could only see this information for one instrument at a time on the main screen, and in an awkward way at that. You now have sliders along with the number values. There are mute, solo, and freeze buttons available. For example, if I particularly like this resonator guitar solo, I can freeze it and then it will stay exactly the same even when I close the song and return to it later. there are now VU meters, not just a master meter, but individual meters for each track. And you have control over the overall level in two ways. One as a mastered level that will stay where you put it for all songs, and another that gets saved and loaded with individual songs, if those individual songs need just a little bit more tweaking. There are also tabs to show plugins and patches. And we've moved the pianos to this area. In the past, there was just a large piano covering the whole main screen, and it was often unclear what instrument was where. Now they're each on their own track, so it's easy to distinguish the piano part and the resonator guitar part. The through and audio tracks are generally used less frequently, so they're not always visible but can easily be brought back. Another new feature is that tracks without MIDI have the option of displaying slashes instead of blank staffs or rests. Here there are notes on the piano track, so those notes display. But on the melody track there's nothing, so I have it set to display slashes. And the same goes for the lead sheet, as well as any printed sheets. Check back soon, and this video will be updated to include a brief guide to user tracks, new high Q sounds, new MIDI SuperTracks, new artist performance tracks, legato strings, and drop station enhancements. See you soon!